r/AskReddit by Reddit. What dumb rule did you have at your school? Zero tolerance drug policy. I watched a kid who was an all-star soccer player and pretty good student, liked all around, pick up something off the ground and walk 30 feet to where a vice principal was standing. He got the VP's attention and then handed it to him. The kid was expelled for turning in part to an administrator. Several, in fact more than 20 people, including me, went to bat and said we saw him pick it up off the ground. Pretty sure his parents went to the school board, but the kid never came back. I learned a very valuable lesson that day, and I still remember the name and face of that VP, and unfortunately the nice dude who got kicked out of school for doing the right thing. When I read zero tolerance drug policy I was like, oh okay, no drugs / using drugs pretty standard, until I read down them realized that your school's stupid. For context, I was in high school in the late 90s / early 2000s. 1. If your bottom garment had belt loops, you had to wear a belt. No exceptions. 2. Related, you had to tuck in your shirt. No exceptions. They added this my sophomore year to combat people not wearing belts. 3. No hats on campus, including outside in the winter. If your head was cold, tough crap, take it off when you park or get off the bus. 4. Open campus was limited to seniors only after 4th period. As a senior you had to take a minimum of 4 classes, despite most people only needing 2 by then. 5. No backpacks in classrooms other than in 7th period. End of the day, I racked up 13 tardies my freshman year due to this. 6. No drinks in class, including water. This is in a state that sees 100+ degree F summers yearly. 7. Detention was given out in days, not hours. So the same punishment held for being 2 minutes late as just skipping class altogether. If you were going to be late, unless you had an exam, it was better to just skip. There were a lot more. My school was terrible. Your school has a strange obsession with belts. For context, I was in high school in the late 90s / early 2000s. 1. If your bottom garment had belt loops, you had to wear a belt. No exceptions. 2. Related, you had to tuck in your shirt. No exceptions. They added this my sophomore year to combat people not wearing belts. 3. No hats on campus, including outside in the winter. If your head was cold, tough crap, take it off when you park or get off the bus. 4. Open campus was limited to seniors only after 4th period. As a senior you had to take a minimum of 4 classes, despite most people only needing 2 by then. 5. No backpacks in classrooms other than in 7th period. End of the day, I racked up 13 tardies my freshman year due to this. 6. No drinks in class, including water. This is in a state that sees 100+ degree F summers yearly. 7. Detention was given out in days, not hours. Okay, so this rule was added the year after I left, but my cousin was at the school at the time. Someone had diarrhea in one of the toilets and made a mess, so the school added a new rule saying no one could use the bathroom during break times. In lessons, the teacher would need to give you a key to unlock the bathroom to stop people doing it again. While I was still there was the rule that if you retaliated against bullies, you would get in as much trouble, and if you didn't retaliate but told a teacher, you'd either be forced to tell the bullies it was okay and you forgave them, or get put in detention with them. Ofsted outstanding rating indeed. Forced to tell the bullies it was okay and you forgave them. Okay Billy, I know he stuffed your head in a toilet, but you need to say you forgive him, or you're just as bad as him. Bit of background first. A former alumni donated about $1 million to my somewhat rich high school with the concession that it be used exclusively for a student center where kids could relax and unwind after a particularly stressful day of class. The school constructed a beautiful student center, complete with comfy chairs, numerous outlets, and a ducking indoor waterfall. The school also decided to implant some insane rules, such as you could only go into the student center after 9 AM and before 3 PM. You could not use your phone or laptop. You could not eat or drink. Any conversation had to be a hushed whisper. If you weren't doing homework, you'd be kicked out by a teacher posted in the center. Needless to say, the center was never ducking used, and a while after it was built, the alumni that donated the money visited and was appalled when he saw the plaque with the insane rules near the center's entrance. Shortly after his visit, most of the rules were retracted. Here's a luxurious student center designed for relaxing and unwinding after class. If you're not doing homework, get out. Also, hours are 9 AM to 3 PM. The duck kind logic is that. I told this story before, but I'll retell it because it was absolutely stupid on my high school's behalf. When I entered as a freshman, the entire school was open campus for lunch. Had been that way for decades. Even my parents had open campus there. But some of the sophomores were acting up off campus, so our principal, in his infinite wisdom, decided that starting next year our high school would only be open campus for juniors and seniors. Think about this, the sophomores, the ones who were causing the trouble, but became juniors next year, therefore this new rule didn't apply to, weren't punished for what they did, but the freshmen, who then became sophomores, but weren't the ones causing the trouble, it did apply to. So I had open campus my freshman, junior, and senior year. It was closed my sophomore year. That was so damn stupid. I used to ride my skateboard to school sometimes as a buddy, and I would go to the scatter park after school. Skateboarding was on the cusp of being very popular because of all the Tony Hawk games. First time I got in trouble ever was because I put my skateboard in our giant full-size locker. Second time the principal saw me walking in with my skateboard and I stashed in my GF at the time locker. They literally went through every single locker till they found it. Then tried to give her demerits, but I said she had nothing to do with it. I knew her locker code and put it in there. They gave me 3 days of in-school suspension and my mom had to come to the school to pick up my skateboard. I haven't learned my lesson. This happens a third time and I get 3 more days of ice and my mom has to come pick me up. They finally ask why do I keep bringing it inside and putting it in my locker. I said because it's not a bike you can just lock up. Someone could just walk by and steal it. If I left it outside, it's faster than walking, and I don't own a bike. There was a house near the school where I started stashing my skateboard in their bushes before I got to school. A week later they went through my locker randomly, probably looking for a skateboard, and found a can of Axe and a can of Old Spice spray in my hoodie and told my mom they thought I was huffing it to get high. And BTW, the principal went to high school with my dad and knew exactly who I was since day one of school. TLDR, principal hated me because I would put my scatterboard in my locker. My school made it so that umbrellas were not allowed at all, no matter if it was raining. The main reason was that there was a really creepy student who believed he was a vampire. So he would dress like a vampire and have fake teeth. He creeped everyone out, even the faculty. He always carried an umbrella like Penguin from Batman. It got to the point that the principal got so fed up with him that he made a new rule that we were never allowed to bring umbrellas. As it turns out, a few days later it started to rain like hell, and we are so not allowed to have hoodies or bandanas on, so everyone got drenched. Everyone went to the office to protest the new rule and eventually it was repealed. This might be the most ridiculous rule I have ever witnessed. We had a bunch of kids figure out that one of the best ways to get out of a test was to scribble a bomb threat on a bathroom stall and get the building evacuated. Some kid was even dumb enough to bring in an actual but completely fake pipe bomb and shoved it under a toilet. It eventually got the point where we would have a bomb threat and evacuation every week or so. So to catch the culprits, the school administrators had the wonderful idea of locking every bathroom in the school except for one set of boys and girls and stationed a security guard outside. You got one naughty card each month with 15 slots for bathroom on one side and 15 slots for hall pass on the other. You had to get your teacher to sign the card for you to leave, then sign in/out at the security table, then have your teacher sign you back into class on the card. If you were caught in the hallway without a signed pass, it was an immediate suspension. Apparently sometime in an age so far gone in history that nobody could remember when, there was a problem with people smoking in the boys' bathroom. So the response was to remove the door of the boys' bathroom and all the doors from the stalls. Pretty crappy, huh? There was also a long mirror on the wall over the sinks, which gave anyone looking in the doorless doorway a reflected view of the doorless toilet stalls. So if you had to take a dump, you could make eye contact with people milling around in the hall. People complained every year, but the school administrators claimed it was for our protection, and it kept the restrooms cleaner, which I have no doubt that it did. Toilets stay ducking pristine when nobody is using them. They didn't care, because they had faculty restrooms with locked doors. Thank you for watching Reddit. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more r/AskReddit videos. Share your stories in the comments section below.